There's a distinction. Imagine, here you are, you're new to the game, you go out to a public gathering like a nightclub, let's say, and you've never been there before. You're scared. It's the first time you've ever been to a place you've never actually, walked around in. I could say to you, look, there's going to be nobody over at this clearing in the forest, but when you get there, you're still going to feel nervous. That's totally separate from the fear of the approach. You see, we've been approaching women in foreign territories. Man, that makes it that much worse. Wouldn't it be cool to desensitize yourself to the same location? Just go there a few times. So it feels like you're doing the unspeakable act of approaching strangers in your own home. That's what it should feel like. So here's my solution to ease the pain of the approach. Go to the same locations, choose 4 or 5 locations in your city, and go to the same locations again and again and again. I'm not saying necessarily be known as a regular. I'm just saying desensitize yourself to the area so that you feel like when you get there, you're home. That'll make the approach much less agonizing, all right? Now, women, of course, understand what that is, but that's where their fear pretty much ends. Sure, they fear foreign territories. Sure, they fear even talking to a stranger, but they certainly don't fear rejection. If one of you rejects a woman, don't worry. One of your friends will still say yes. So they don't have that real-world social pressure. You see? The reason why we have approach anxiety really is 2 main reasons. Again, separate from the fear of foreign territories. The first one is, if we walk up to a woman and she's taken by another man, well, we could seriously get ourselves beat, right? At least 40,000 years ago, when we lived in these little tribes of 50 people, little communities, that's what our puny little brains are really designed for. It's not designed for today's environment of 6.45 billion people. It's designed for a much smaller world. Why? Well, because 6.45 billion people didn't exist until today. We're not designed for today's environment because we have to adapt to the changing social environment, in this case, a population explosion. We haven't had the chance to, so really, we're out-of-date machines, good 40,000-year-old machines. Simplifies things, makes it all nice. But let's say we don't fear approaching a woman because there is a potentiality to get pummeled mercilessly by the tribal leader and his friends, all right? Big rocks bang on your head and you get buried in the forest. Let's say we don't have that fear. And anyone who is privy to understanding the secrets of the mystery method will know that approaching a group of people, including men in that group, you can easily keep yourself safe by not telegraphing interest to the target right away. All you have to do is neg the target loud enough for the obstacles to hear, and they will go, oh, okay, so you're not after her. And they're disarmed. So negs hold more meaning than just, trying to lower her self-esteem. No, not at all. It's to create a challenge for her, but also to look like you're not interested in her from the perspective of the others in the group, because I don't know who the boyfriend and who the brother is, right? Who's the boyfriend, who's the brother? Let's find that out first before I start indicating my interest towards her. Let's shut her down, and so I can work the group, conveying my personality obliquely to her as I speak to her peer group, many of which will be guys. So I don't worry about approaching a group and getting pummeled by guys, but there's an additional fear, and this one's a legitimate one. In a 50-person society, imagine hitting on a girl incorrectly. She will then tell her friends, and in a small 50-person society, her friends are everyone else. And your genes will be unapologetically weeded out of existence. That's pretty hardcore, and our ancestors had to deal with that for quite some time. And that real-world social pressure was so consistent that evolution took over. It adapted to that real-world environment. That social pressure existed for so long, we have circuitry in our head to fear the approach. Guess what, guys? Ain't going away. Some of the best guys in here have approach anxiety. It's not going away. Now, as men who actually are approach hounds, right? Right? Approach hounds. We barrel through it. We come up with concoctions, some theories like the 3-second rule. That way we can handle our approach anxiety by minimizing it. It's the best thing we can do. It's not much you can do. You got hardwired circuitry in there, boy. That ain't going away. Practice will desensitize you over time, certainly a little bit. But really the way it works is by the 4th set that night, you will feel a lot better. That first set really sucks, doesn't it? First set of the night, but by the 3rd, 4th, 5th set, it starts going away and you start feeling good because our brains don't think that each set is a separate tribe. It's all one tribe, man. It's one room. And we're getting involved into it. We're starting to socially interact. And the social proof that we generate from previous sets assists us with the next set. That's the system we really want to do, man.